You see, for NEPED now, that is Network for Peace and Development, it is at this stage of Peace 3 where we have really opened our eyes and recognize ourselves that we can be able to manage so many, issues which is pertaining to, community disputes. Here, we opened our office. We vanished our office well. We were using internet. We had enough staff. You see, we had developed ourselves. We had means. We could not be able to have any problem. We were not incapacitated like before. You see, what happened was we can be able to reach several areas that we could not even reach before. Why? We had means. We could manage to do cross-border, activities, like the corridor that we are working that is Ethiopia and Kenya. These are the communities. The Ethiopian community and the Kenyan community were like total enemies before. They could not make any conversation. If anything occurs, either the other side or this side, you see, the retaliation is just fire. They have no any other consultation. They have no any other gut to sit and reason. But the retaliation is fire. But thanks to God, with the coming of Peace 3, you see, we could chip in and control several variables, like connecting inter-authority government. You see, the Ethiopian government and the Kenyan government, you see, we linked them, we sat on a table, we discussed the limitations, you see, and then in that situation, first initial, when we met, is like people are fearing one another. The challenge was, there was complete mistrust of this authority. Preferably, the Ethiopian authority could not trust Kenyan authority. What they said, we could not even be able to share a table. They talked as they were standing. You see, they said, no, we could not even be able to share a table because you are like opening Pandora box to us. They said, you could not be able to control your country. Every person intrude from all the corners. But the communities around there were so good that we really requested just to have a table where they sat. We discussed some issues. The issue we discussed was only pertaining peace. You see, it was only pertaining peace. It is at this time when the DC Mubarak, that is the interior Ethiopia, could just say, yes, we have heard what you are now saying. Let us go back and think about. You see, our second repeat was again to call that same authority, the both authority on board. This time now, there is a kind of good facial expression, welcoming. We sat on a table, discussed, and see how can we be able to remove the barrier between Ethiopia and Kenya in relation to peace. This is the time now when people were really open to one another, open-hearted, up to the DC Mubarak said, that is the Ethiopian side said, this time now we have known your heart. He means the Kenyan authority now and the peace builders from the authority. They even recognized our organization NEPED to have made such a good link between the Kenyan authority and the Ethiopian authority, who were enemies to one another. They really recognized the organization, and there were several allegations that they put across in a way that they said, if Kenyan people, be it pastoralists or be it any other person who's crossing, could not give any notification when they are crossing. They just cross and do harms in our area. When we retaliate, you see, that is the time they feel that the Ethiopians have, pinched the Kenyans. So they said, for any person who is crossing to Ethiopian side should pass their authority, take a letter, bring it to us, and then we can give them an opportunity to enjoy in our area. Preferably who now? The pastoralists. You see, sometimes droughts attack either of the sides. the Kenyan side or the Ethiopian side. You see, at this stage now, the Ethiopians really accepted the pastoralists from Kenya to an extent that the DC said, we'll even help, you see, the pastoralists with hay, you see, the fodder, and even water boozers. You see, that came as a result of, you know, the initiative made by Pact, supported by Peace 3, funded by USAID.